Hey, I'm Siobhan, and I love talking about all the things related to freedom and personal growth. And I'm on a journey to redefine freedom on my own terms as I become the woman I desire to be. Each week, I'll share in real time what I'm learning as I do my inner work while creating a safe space for my listeners to feel seen. If you desire to be free and live a life that feels good to you, then you're in the right place for beautiful conversations that's going to support you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to the Siobhan J. Middleton podcast. Now let's start the show. Hey, welcome back to another episode of my podcast. You know, I'm so happy that you are here again for another week to be inspired, encouraged, motivated, get all the things, right? So a few weeks ago, I was at the skating rink, and if y'all follow me on the gram, which you should be, I love roller skating. And this is not about skating, but let me just say this. I am progressing and getting better and better and learning new skills. And one of the skills that I'm learning is how to skate backwards and transition forward and skate forward and transition backwards. So that is a whole thing for me. And I'm so proud of the progress that I've made thus far. But anywho, this particular night at the skating rink, there were two women with locks who both said to me at two different times, I missed the stage where you're at. And they both told me how beautiful my locks were. And I was like, Well, I thanked them, number one, right? And complimented them both on their locks. And they both had very long locks. One lady, I feel like her locks are either waist length or maybe to her butt. They're very long. And the other lady, her locks were up in a ponytail, so I really couldn't tell, but they definitely were long. And I'm looking at them like, I can't wait to get where you are and how beautiful your locks are, you know? I am at the time of this recording, I am at 11 months that I've been locking my hair. It'll be a year in February, which I'm super duper excited because, and I'll get into this, of what I've learned from this particular journey. And as I'm looking at their locks and how beautiful they are, and them complimenting me on my locks and saying, I missed that stage, it had me thinking about the process of life, right? And enjoying where you're at. We all want to get to our sweet spot, right? We're all looking forward to achieving the dream or reaching the next goal. And we want to get there and we want to rush to get there. But sometimes because of the urgency to get to the next thing, we miss what we're supposed to get in the moment. And so we're wishing for the next. And then when we get to the next thing, what we desired, we'll wish we can go back to where we were. And this is the thing. I do love the stage that I'm at as it relates to my locks. I love seeing my growth. And it's not that I'm rushing. However, I do look forward to more length. And even as I'm watching my hair grow now, I'm like, ooh, Siobhan, you got some hang time. Ooh, I can't wait till they get longer. And even my loctician, she was saying, you know, as the locks get longer, people do wish that they were at your stage because it's more challenging, I guess, to style the hair, and then they become more heavier and things like that. And I never even thought about that. I was just thinking about the goal for them to be longer. So as I'm thinking about the transformation of my locks, and I'm going to share some of the lessons that I've learned, but I first want to talk about how the beauty of appreciating where you're at in life, whether you are experiencing beautiful moments or whether you're having challenging moments, appreciating where you're at. And this speaks to how I want to feel this year. I talked about this in another episode. Like, I just want to be present. I want to be present in the moment, taking in all that I'm experiencing. And there are some things in my life right now that I would love for it to go quicker. But I also know that there's things that I need to heal and lessons that I need to learn. And so there's more challenging things happening in my personal life. And I'm like, man, I just can't wait for this to be done with. But Spirit is like, there's something that you need to get. Do not rush out of this moment. There's some lessons that you need right here right in this moment that if you rush out of it, you will miss it. And then as you face other things, because you didn't get the lesson, it's going to have to be repeated because you got to get it, right? And so I don't want to move too quickly, only to wish that I could go back. And that's, again, in every area of my life. So whether it's the lock journey, whether it's this process of divorce, of who I'm becoming, what I'm learning, there are some moments in my life that are emotionally painful because I'm waking up to a lot of stuff that I didn't see before. And I talked about this in another episode, how I have been asleep to a lot of things in my life. And now I'm slowly waking up to it. And I do want to rush out of it sometimes, like, oh my gosh, this is so painful. I can't believe this. Oh my goodness. But also, I'm learning and I'm healing and I'm growing and it's making me better. And so I don't want to rush out of my life. I don't want to rush the process. I want to feel it all. And not only the good feelings, but I want to feel the not so good feelings as well, because they're helping me become better. And that's all I want. I want to become the best version of myself. And I want to feel every piece of it, because I even know, like, even with these challenging moments, I'm learning a lot about myself. And I'm like, this is how you showed up before. Remember this, okay? And then how do you move forward? It may not feel good while you're in it, but trust the process. You are getting something from it. So locking my hair was literally one of the best decisions to make during my transformation journey, which I will say I'm still in it. I know that's the word that I chose for 2022, but the transformation is still happening. And what this journey, as it relates to my locks, is teaching me is patience. And I don't know how good I really am with patience, but I'm definitely learning it. And growth is happening, even when it doesn't feel like it or it's hard to see. It is happening. So if I think about month 1 of my locks, or day 1, if you go back to my lock journey, I have a highlights on Instagram, and my hair looks nothing like it does today. And even that moment when I saw myself, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, this is going to be a process. This is going to take some patience. And now that I'm looking at month 11 and how my hair has locked up and is so full and is so beautiful and so much growth, I'm like, wow, it looks completely different. Now, let's just say after month 1, I'm like, man, I can't do this. I would miss out on the beautiful transformation that's happening, you know? Locking my hair is also helping me to see visually, or maybe outwardly, how I'm growing inwardly, right? And so I think that's the hard part. Like, when you're doing the inner work, it feels like you're not growing. But as I'm watching my hair transform into actual locks, I'm like, oh, you're transforming inside as well. You just can't visually see it, but you can feel it, right? And sometimes it feels like I'm at a standstill, or maybe I'm going backwards, but that's not true at all. I am reminded all the time by my therapist and my friends how much I'm growing, and even how I'm handling things that come my way. I'm doing it in a much healthier way than I would have before. So I think I talked about this on another episode, how my tendency is to react. Like, I am quick to react. If something bothers me, it doesn't even have to bother me. If something is both positive or negative, I'm quick to react to it. And with this journey that I'm on, I am now learning how to slow down and wait to respond. And that takes patience, and it takes, oh my God, it takes so much patience to be able to do that, especially when that is my natural way of moving, is to react. And it is very helpful that I have friends in my life and my therapist that can see me, and they hold up a mirror to me to show me who I am, because I'm like, oh, you're right. I would have handled this completely different had this been a few months ago. So watching my hair transform, right, is also helping me see inwardly how I'm transforming. And it's not like I'm just not growing. No, I'm growing. It's just, it's sometimes it takes a little bit longer for you to see that because you don't have anything tangible, right? When it comes to like the inner growth. My locks are also teaching me how to define beauty for myself. And I remember when I first got my locks, I'm like, oh, wait, you got a whole face here. Like I was really able to see my features from my eyes and my nose and my cheekbones and my chin and all of my face. I was seeing it in a different way and learning to love all parts of myself and loving what I see in the mirror. And I can honestly say that I do. And I'm looking at myself in a very different way than I've ever had before. And there's nothing about myself that I want to change. And I really appreciate like who I've become and how I'm looking at myself. And I'm going to tell you, the natural me, like, because that's what I feel like this journey is. It's very natural. It feels so damn good. And I love getting the compliments from both men and women of, man, you're so beautiful, or man, you're glowing, or you're light, or your energy. Wow, you look so happy. You look so free. They're experiencing the natural version of me, right? And I love it. I love it a lot. And I think the last thing that I want to share with you is that I have 4 locks. I didn't know that it was 4. My loctician told me this the other day. I have 4 locks that are taking their time locking. So between me getting my hair retwisted, which I typically go every 3 to 4 weeks, there's 2 on each side of my head where they completely unravel. And I remember when my back, like the kitchen, right? Oh, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Like there were several that were unraveled between my next retwist, and now they're completely locked. There were also a few on the left side of my crown, actually both sides, actually, where those were unraveled, and now they're locked. So now I'm left with 4 locks that are unraveling on each side. But because I've watched the transformation on my crown and the transformation on my kitchen and seen how those locks were every single time they were unlocking and now they're completely locked, the same thing is going to happen with these 4 locks that are in my hair. And the message or what I want to share about that is that this is just like life, right? Life will happen to you. Things will change. And sometimes it feels like, man, this is never going to look the way that I want it to look, or I'm always going to be in this place. But that's not true. There are areas in your life that's going to take a little bit more time to lock up, if you will, right? A little bit more time for change. And because we're working on so many different pieces of our lives, there will be one area of your life where maybe the growth happens a little bit quicker than another area, but it doesn't mean that you're not growing. And so I want you to embrace the process itself. Don't rush out of it. Don't feel like, man, nothing is working. No, it's working, but you gotta stay the course. And as it relates to life and doing the inner work, keep listening to the podcast, keep going to therapy. Make sure you're consciously choosing the right friends to have in your life. Read the books, do the inner work, like to change your life, meditate, like whatever your process is, right? Everyone's process will look different, but do your work. And trust me, even though the days when it feels like, man, I just wish I could be here. I can't wait till I get there. No. Remind yourself, let me embrace where I'm at now because there's something that I need to get in this moment that I don't want to rush out of. I hope that was inspiring to you. Be sure to share this episode with your friends, whether you text it to your friend like, hey girl, hey, listen to this and then let's talk about it afterwards. Share it on Instagram or wherever you share your podcast. Make sure you're subscribed on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. Leave a comment, DM me, email me, all the things. I'm here. I'm going to respond to you when I'm able to. Make sure you're following me over on Instagram at Siobhan J. Middleton. You'll find that link in the show notes. Y'all know I love coffee. And if my work is inspiring to you in any capacity, if you felt inspired, if you felt motivated, encouraged, or this is just what you needed to hear, treat me to a cup of coffee to show your support. You can do 1, 2, 3 cups, however many you choose. Let me tell you, I'm always delighted. And let me just tell you, the way that I love to drink my coffee, not that you asked, but here we go. I love a French roast or a dark roast. I love oat milk creamer. And every single morning when I get back from dropping my daughter off at school, I have my coffee. And it's just the best thing ever. And now what I'm doing is I'm drinking my coffee and then I'm recording an episode to the podcast. And I love the consistency that I have. So all that to say, I would love for you to treat me to a cup of coffee and share your support any kind of way. And make sure you leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That helps more people be able to listen. Sending you so much love and light. Until next time.